Hello, my name's Sid High, and welcome to my High Thoughts. I thought I'd tell you a little about myself because I thought it might be relevant to future episodes. Yeah, I'm a hillbilly. I grew up in northwest Arkansas. A little town called Berryville had a little, right around 1,900 people, I think, in it, but we really didn't live there. We lived 10 miles north of town, 7 miles on the paved road, 3 miles on the dirt road. Unless the creek was up, then you had to go around the long way, that kind of thing. And it was cool in lots of ways, had to milk cows, take care of massive amounts of chickens and hogs and hauling hay and all that fun stuff growing up. But the other big thing was, of course, going to church and that kind of stuff. So I thought I'd talk some about that. Uh, Once again, we lived so far out there, there was just this little bitty church that was like a quarter mile away from the house called High Community Church, and with High Cemetery, which was also freaky to walk by at night when you're a kid. Um, but I digress. So, they had like about 20 people there, average. And I mean, it was just so intense. Um, lots of stuff about hell and damnation and sinning and all that kind of stuff. Not much about love and turning the other cheek and all that. And I mean, super passionate about it. I mean, it was very intense. And we also went to like the tent revival, or they would rent out these little storefront places, and we'd go to those sometimes, and then other churches too. And the others, it was truly concerning about worrying about whether the preacher or someone was going to bring out snakes to test their faith, that kind of thing. The talking in tongues was freaky enough, but that was always on my mind. And as a kid, I always had lots of questions too. I don't know how old, but you know, silly things in a way. But I was obviously thinking about it. Uh, Streets paved with gold in heaven. Well, what good is that? I mean, what makes gold worth something is because it's rare. And also, there's all the parts about the Bible that's, you're not supposed to be all consumed with wealth and that kind of stuff. The other thing was, well, why do you need a road anyways if everybody has wings? And if you have a mansion, it's like, well what is it going to rain or something? I mean, why do you need a mansion? I don't know. There was just all of these things that bothered me about the whole concept of heaven. Obviously, nobody wants to go to hell. That's like, you know, so intense with that craziness. But on the flip side, like heaven and singing to this God, uh, like forever. Uh, I don't know. Just the whole thing was just freaking me. I could go into much greater detail on other things that I was bringing up to my mom, and basically told to keep quiet about it and don't be talking about that kind of stuff. And so, anyways, then another kind of switching here a little bit, but it does tie in. When I turned 13, I got a motorcycle. I got a CB100 Honda, uh, little street bike. Just the coolest thing in the world. And the other thing that made it so cool is in Arkansas, you could get a driver's license at 13, permit for car and for motorcycle. So dang, I mean, I was like off like a rocket. And luckily I made it through because I had many close call, but that's another story. We'll save that. So the thing is, one of the things I did, along with all the running around, was did go to different churches in town and different places, and just kind of see what was going on. And because they all said they were Christian churches, and I really don't remember the different denominations, but I mean they weren't that different in lots of ways. But it was a few silly little things like, uh, you know, you can't dance. I mean, that's like a big sin. I mean, they made a movie about it, Footloose, and all that kind of stuff. Although I think that was based over in Oklahoma, but nonetheless, it was all around that. Probably still is. And others, you can't have instruments at church, or those are minor, I guess. But that's the thing. I just didn't see what the big difference was. But of course, everybody wants you to come there because they want your donation every week, and that kind of thing. I mean, there's more to it than that too. I mean, uh, as far as the whole community, and there's that aspect of it. But the big thing I guess I was going for was, what's the key to getting into heaven? I mean, it was obviously a very, it was supposed to be the most important issue in all your life, was to do things to make sure you got into heaven. I mean, um, so it just really was confusing to see this church that said, oh no, they're going to hell because they do such and such. Now they could repent and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, yeah, I know they're Christians, but yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, that kind of stuff just, okay, where's the logic in that? How do you know that your form of Christianity is better than their form of Christianity? And I think that gets lost a lot today in the media and the rest of it. It's like, you got all these different Christian-based religions, not even going back to, like uh, Abraham, and offshooting Judaism and Muslims and Christians. Anyway, I'm getting off topic a little bit. Keeping it more local, it's like, well, how can all of these Christian churches worship the same God, but yet they think the other one's going to go to hell? That's why you need to go to their church, which also I saw the financial benefit in, the fact that they want you to go to their church and not the other church. Anyway, so I also read a lot, some philosophy books and those kind of things, some Buddhism, that kind of thing. And then when I turned 15, I got a job as a motorcycle mechanic at Yamaha of Golden, which also was like one of the coolest things in the whole world, racing motorcycles and, motocross, enduros, flat track. And I just loved riding motorcycles. It was just an awesome thing. Again, that somewhat ties in because my buddy Bear, rest his soul, he basically, his parents owned it at first, and then his father passed away. I digress a bit, but it is important to this story because I was talking to him late one night when he was, about life in general and that kind of stuff. We were partying and whatever. And I said, well, yeah, after getting out of school, wouldn't it be great if you could go to the Far East and study their religions and see how the two kind of combined, the Western religions and the Eastern and stuff like that? And he said to me, he goes, well, that's already been done. And wait for it, it was Scientology. And turned out his mom was a Scientologist and all this other stuff. So, but we'll save my, what shall we call it, journey through Scientology for many years uh, for another video, because that's a good one. Anyway, I hope you like this. It's probably pretty silly to most people, but I'm trying to do this just as I am. I'm going to cover a lot of topics, and it's from my perspective, from all the things I've read or I know or I've, gleaned from other people. And it will be interesting to see what comments are made because, no one can keep up with the amount of information that's happening these days. And so it's good, I think, to share what your ideas are with the information that we have so far. And hopefully we can all learn from it, I guess, is the bottom line. Anyways, it's high thoughts, so I tend to ramble a bit. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to subscribe or hit the like button, buy a t-shirt, that'll all be great. But anyways, stay tuned for that next video. I think you're going to like it. Of course, this is entirely different than the one about the Camaro and the Leaf and then the i8. And that's the way the videos will be. It's like, who knows? Music videos too. Might as well throw it all in there, right? All right. Hope you have a great day. See ya.